His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, has given to the world by his words and example true understanding of loving the Supreme Absolute Truth as a person. Because the process of bhakti, which is the ultimate conclusion of all of the Holy Shastras, is pure unalloyed devotional service. To understand Krishna as a person and to serve him and love him as a person. Krishna, his supreme nature of love is he can simultaneously express and reciprocate ecstatic feelings with innumerable living entities, each one under the wonderful consciousness that Krishna is reciprocating with me individually and personally. And Srila Prabhupada so wonderfully embodied this quality. Recently I was in London, and one of my elder godbrothers was explaining to me how in the 70s he was in India with Srila Prabhupada, and one devotee came and gave a check. I believe it was several hundreds of thousands of dollars. Srila Prabhupada was building his temples in Mayapur and Vrindavan, and these were his main collectors. Prabhupada desperately needed that money to build his temples. This devotee left the check, and without saying anything, he left the room. And Srila Prabhupada was so happy to receive the money to continue the construction of his temples. But he asked, "Where is this devotee?" And Prabhupada's secretary explained that this devotee revealed to him that he was somewhat ashamed because the way they were collecting the money, some of the devotees became spiritually weak, just one or two, and they left the Krishna consciousness movement. And Srila Prabhupada replied, "Stop all the collections and bring them all back. For any amount of money, we cannot lose one devotee." To Srila Prabhupada, any single Vaishnava who was coming under his divine grace to the lotus feet of Sri Krishna was more precious than all the wealth in the world. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat explains the same principle. Vrindavan Das Thakur tells us in one passage that in the eyes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, any single Vaishnava aspiring to take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna is more precious, is more valuable than all of the wealth in all of the creation in the eyes of God. Srila Prabhupada extended that extent of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy in his own life. Whatever Srila Prabhupada speaks in his books, whatever he speaks in his tapes, whatever he speaks through his devotees, you should know that he's not preaching simply to the masses. He has that potency. He is personally, individually, uniquely preaching to your heart. And he is giving his mercy to you. So we should know how precious every devotee is to Srila Prabhupada. And as Prabhupada said, you can show your love for me by how you cooperate with one another. Cooperation means individual, personal relationships, where we put aside our own egoistic feelings, our own selfish preferences, and see to the needs of each and every devotee. And there is no greater way we can show our love for Srila Prabhupada than showing our love for those he loves. And he loves dearly, personally, every Vaishnava who comes to this path. On many occasions we have heard, although he had so many thousands and thousands of disciples, when he would hear of one that would leave, he would sometimes cry, and he would not be thinking of all the tens of thousands of followers he had, but he would be praying to Krishna, please bring him back. Even in 1977, when his movement had spread to over 100 temples on every continent, and wherever he would go, hundreds, sometimes thousands of devotees would be celebrating his appearance at that place. One of our dear friends, one of our godbrothers, he had gone astray because he was having difficulty following the regulative principles. And Srila Prabhupada would regularly ask, where is he? How could we bring him back? So we must learn to serve one another as Srila Prabhupada served all of us. And if we can do this, if we can assimilate within our hearts how Srila Prabhupada treasured and loved every devotee in this movement, if we could do this alone, this movement will become Vaikuntha. each one of our temples will become Vaikuntha. And Krishna will empower us unlimitedly through Srila Prabhupada's divine grace to do anything. Any offense we commit to the Vaishnavas is a pain to the body of Srila Prabhupada. Any service we do to inspire a Vaishnav is a great pleasure to the heart of our Guru Maharaj. So on this very auspicious day of Sri Vyasa Puja, you are all like flowers being offered at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. His dream, his desire was that each and every conditioned soul in this world be given Krishna consciousness, and how we should be willing to take sacrifice in our own life by making such a wonderful, wonderful atmosphere within our temples that people of this world will be attracted and understand the beauty and the glory of His divine grace. Srila Prabhupada ki. Srila Prabhupada's mercy is more precious to us than all the wealth in the entire creation. To receive His mercy, we must follow in His holy footsteps and personally serve Him by inspiring, pleasing, serving His children, who are more dear to Him than His very life.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on thesacredconnect.com.